Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Racers Driving League and welcome along to Season 18, Round 14 of the Championship. Welcome to the Belgian Grand Prix here from the fantastic Spa-Francorchamps. I'm your host, Zach RC, here to take you through the next 2 hours of what should be, no doubt, another thrilling instalment of what's already been a titanic season of racing. But still, as of right now, the gap is still open, wide open in the Drivers' Championship as Grumio leads the way over. What is going on right now? Okay, things are all okay on my screen here. Could someone confirm in the chat that things are all okay as they should look? Because my OBS is playing up. I'm really not sure why. I'm quite concerned. Okay, no, I think we're okay. Okay, right. Not a problem there. Right. So all things are all okay. So we'll carry on as we were. Very confusing as what just happened to my streaming stuff. But Imre coming through the first lap of on the circuit, through the first car to set a qualifying time here in Q1. 19 cars as of right now. Only driver we're missing is the Williams of Cot. No reserves on the grid tonight. And of course, we'll lose the bottom 4 at the end of this first round. So, Imre at the last corner and coming towards turn 1, start his first lap. Of course, the run up towards La Source, the right-hander at the top of the hill here. Obviously, down the hill, going down towards turns 2, 3, and 4. That famous complex Eau Rouge / Radion. But obviously, a fact a lot of people don't know is that Eau Rouge is the bottom of the corner here, turn 2, and up at the very top is Radion. So, two corners differentiated from each other there. So down to Kemmel straight now towards Lecom. That's turn at number 5 at the far end. DRS is in play for Imre now. The first car to hit the button tonight. He makes his way down into 5 to complete the first sector. 30.9 is his first one. Of course, Spa, one of the circuits was remodified on F124 going into the new game. Of course, F123 still had the same variation as in previous seasons, but F124 obviously putting change to that. So the circuit, a lot of drivers had to readjust this one. Obviously, that curve, the exit of turn 8 used to be a lot higher. Going over that curve completely would mean potentially fall back down it again. Down towards Pouon, turn 10. Very fast left-hander, so he's taking almost millimetrically perfect there in order to actually gain any time out of there. Of course, sector 2 will come to an end at the exit of turn 14. We're going through turn 13 now. And we're keeping the car on the circuit here, nice and controlled. Slide there on corner exit, but going towards 15 now into the last sector, and the long run here begins down towards the bus stop chicane. That'll be at turn 18. Of course, turn 19 will then finish up the lap and bring us back up towards the line and towards La Source once again. So last couple of corners then for Imre to complete his first lap of the session and the first lap here of qualifying tonight. I have word that Cot will be joining us shortly, so we'll have a full grid of 20 drivers. Imri over the line started complete his first lap time. We did 1 minute 42.3, the first time on the board, and that would likely be the benchmark for a number of cars tonight. Red J and the Mercedes towards the line. Red J 144.3, so work to be done for Mercedes. A lot of drivers complaining going into this one in terms of setup. The fact that the setup felt good, but the track felt awful. So this could be a tough night for certain individuals should they not get themselves together in this qualifying session. Che fastest there, of course, former championship leader. And Dan behind him, Ferrari's running that same strategy, going that one behind the other there, getting a toe off each other. Che, obviously a bit faster than Dan naturally, so Dan is the one who gets the toe, and it pays off for them nicely here because they sit 1-2 right now. Both of them topping Imri's time. Che, the first one to the 141s. And we're still waiting now on our championship leader Grubio to respond as he comes through turns 16 and 17 now. Up towards the bus stop himself. Into the last couple of corners here. Through turn 19, we'll see what time Grumio puts on the board. As he runs up toward the flag. 141.8, so it's close. Just under 2 tenths back from Che right now. So, Che with the upper hand in the first round of qualifying laps tonight. Of course, I say all full-time drivers because we've actually had a change between the last race and this one. Haas waving goodbye to Pope for the rest of the season, and as a result Matthew has been brought in up from reserve to partner Imri. So we'll see in terms of full-time basis. Matthew has done fantastically in recent weeks as a reserve, so we'll see what he's got in terms of having a full-time seat to himself now. Second in practice, the optional practice session put on prior to the race was set up by JB. Slowed Imri by 6 tenths, I'm told, going through that hour. So we'll see what sort of time he puts on the board here. It will likely be up to low 42, high 42, low 43. Down into turn 8 now. With a lock up there going through the right-hander. A lot of tires work on corner exit as well. It's hard to tell whether that's a visual glitch or whether that's an actual lock up, especially in online mode. Yeah, obviously that's Landlord in behind. Landlord was for the first time 1 minute 48.2, so I'm imagining he must have backed off. If not, there's a lot of improvement to be made. But Landlord loves Belgium. It's a fantastic circuit from him. He's won here several times in the past. We'll see if he can pick up another one today. Of course, just the one win from so far this season. That win coming in Austria a few weeks ago. Emi retiring here, so calling an end to his first run in qualifying. Likely enough to get him through. I believe he's joining us later on, so he'll be here during Q3, and obviously we'll start last as a result during the race. Matthew into the last corners here. Over the curbs there. That was quite audacious. And coming into the pit lane now to complete his first run. The two Alpines here, JB and Curtis together on the racetrack. And Curtis giving JB a toe there, 30.998 in the first sector. Bit of a slide there going through turn 6 though. That should hopefully give JB some assistance there. Of course, Alpine sits in 6th place in the championship right now. 75 points to their name, 42 for Curtis and 33 for JB. Alpine team reporting good pace, so hopefully it could be a good evening for them. EJ there in P5 in the Aston Martin, of course, a full-time driver as of recently. A lot of chopping and changing with the Aston Martin over the course of the season. I think they found a line that sticks here. AT's teammates still hunting for his first point of the season. Spoke in the media earlier this week and made the claim that he'd be able to. Every track is really an opportunity to try and score the points, which honestly I wholeheartedly agree with. He's come oh so close as of recently, but perhaps tonight will be the night he breaks that duck and gets himself back on the score sheet. The score sheet? That's a football. PJ Keller coming through, the kick Sauber on his way through turns 17 and towards 18. The two Alpines now alongside each other once again. JB backing off, he's invalidated his lap. Curtis 1 minute 52.0, obviously backed off a little bit to allow JB that toe, so he'll go again. Slowest time on the board right now. Landau back on the racetrack on his out lap again, and looking to improve massively on that first lap time. But in P12 right now. Still waiting on 6 car set lap times. 3 of them are on out laps, and one of them is on a flying lap with PJ. So Obsessed, Ethan, and Matthew. Cottony is in the pits. JB is also in the pits. I say PJ is down the track. AT is in 9th place right now. We're at 44.1, lowest to 44 so far. And pace-wise, the Aston Martins look to be top 10 early on. EJ in 5th place, let's say. Che and Grumio still in the pit lane, not retiring from the session just yet. Majority of cars in the pit lane now. A few of them out on the racetrack. PJ obsessed and Curtis is the only one setting time lapse right now. Where is obsessed? Obsessed is up at turn 1. It's going down towards Eau Rouge now. Up the hill. A bit of a slide there through Radion, but kept it on the wraps fantastically there. And down towards the common end of the Kemmel Straight. And that first split coming in just before the braking zone. 31.2 to start things off. Through turn 8. PJ coming up towards the line here. We'll sort of see what time he puts in. Be 1 minute 42.9. That's enough for P6 on the board. Ethan coming through start his next lap. Matthew back on the racetrack. We're going to try and avoid the ballet as he did earlier on. Sliding the car there through turns 12 and 13. Be careful doing that. Went at 15.2 at the second split. Right on board. Of course, it's Mercedes in the real-life Australian Grand Prix yesterday. Had a fantastic race weekend in the end. Russell finishing P3 and Kimi Antonelli on debut placing P4. I'm sure the two silver arrows here would love a result like that tonight. P9 from Sestem, 1 minute 43.5. He's been getting quicker and quicker in recent weeks. Came close to points as a team last time round in Hungary. Here comes Landlord now at the last corner. Improving by a second and a half, 1 minute 46.5, but potentially in danger here early on. Still slowest time on the board. Ethan 1 minute 15.3 in sector 2. He's coming towards the end of the lap now. Six minutes to go. Waiting on 3 more cars now. Connie Goblin's still in the pit lane. JB on his out lap. The last few corners for Ethan now. 143.7. That's enough for 11th place on the board. So the Sabres again. Show midfield paces right now. Landlord still going here. He's improved by 2 tenths in the first section. He's got his teammate behind him. Bringing it on out lap. Unfortunately, no way that one can give the other a tow. Grumio, obviously, Tanner's that's not going to count the board, and Landlord can't back off to let Grumio go. Perhaps this might work out for Grumio's next time to put him on the top of the board again. He only needs about 2 steps or so. Grumio backing up to give himself some clean air. 18 Aston Martin behind him also backing up to give the champion some space. Towards 10-1, they could get a 12 from him himself as he comes to the first corner. I'll keep an eye on these two and see what goes on. Throw Rouge. We're looking for a 12 Landlord, then turn the Aston Martin get a 12 in. Do big gains for both cars potentially. Now Landlord moves out of the way. Slipstream the AT game, but he's gone over the curb there, and that's an unvalidated lap. And that mistake may have cost him then. He's in P15 right now. He's the last car going through as it stands. So JB gets set a lap. Cotley Goblin emerging from the pit lane here. A rare sight at the best of times to see Cotley out on the racetrack. Of course, we've seen more and more of it this season. JB keeping those soft tyres up on the wraps right now. So how's Grimmy doing then? He's into the last sector, but 7 seconds down. How's not been on pace-wise? Of course, he's in P2. There's no concern from there. Now does AT go again? Campbell pits them, both cars down the circuit here. 80 goes one more lap. Where's JB? JB in the last sector now, 1 minute 25.5. His second sector. Campbell attempts off time. So last couple of corners now to complete the lap. Full exit there. JB 155.4 on the board. It's been a big struggle for him in Q1 today. The Goblin last couple of corners. Start will be likely be his first and most likely final lap. So we'll see what sort of time he can get to get himself out of Q1. He needs 1 minute 44.1 at least. AT improved by half a second right now. This could put him into 143s, potentially. A yellow flag for a stop McLaren. That will be Ben, who's let the two cars go. Alvar's on the racetrack. JB retires, so he's out of qualifying. First retiree, or first driver out, rather. So Grimio and AT both look to be improving here. Red J 10th and Cotley Goblin all look to be going out right now. 80 to the outside. Slide there from the Aston Martin out of the last corner down towards the line. To P11, and that will put Red J into the bottom 4. Sorry, keep him in the bottom 4 rather, because one more chance to go for a lap. There's 40 seconds to go now. 10th needs to improve fast. She needs about half a second or so right now to get in front of Alvar. Alvar, who looks like he also have a chance to set a lap time. It's going to be close for him though. 10th will be the first car through to complete qualifying. Inter-team assistance between RB and Aston Martin then. Checker flag is up. Camden into the last couple corners here, looking for that improvement to get her into the next part of qualifying. Goes P14. Only just. It's going to be tight. Oh! Ben off on the gravel. And Ben out then. But the last car going through right now. So if one more car improves, any of Alvar, Red J, Cotley Goblin improving, all of whom are on laps right now. Red J is up. He needs more. Alvar is 6/10 up. Only a tenth of his teammate. And Cotley Goblin. Oh, going wide. Around he goes. And off into the wall. And that will run the Cotley Goblin out. So that's 2 cars of the 4 now done. Red J's invalidated, so he's out. Only Alvar then can get through. He passes his teammate on the right hand side there. See how much he's improving by now. By just under 6 attempts now, but he only needs 1. This race could get him up into potentially into 11th place at best. Another 10th improvement could see him inside the top 10. So last corners here. He's invalidated though. Oh! I don't know where he did it, but he's out. So late change, but Alvar goes out. Ben's going through. Connie's invalidated. He's lost his wing. The game over for one of the Red Bulls is 10th. Squeezes through. But Che tops the session from Grumio and Dan in the top 3. Imri 4th. Matthew in 5th. EJ, PJ, Websy, Landon and Curtis in the top 10. He's currently got across the line and start P18 and out 20 in this one. Cotwell, of course, start last. So been through the top 10. Let's have a look now at the remainder of the order. Of course, including the 4 cars we're going out. Once it loads on my screen. I get to see it. Alright, well that's fantastic. I'll make a quick adjustment to my settings here just to see if I can make it any less laggy. Oh, okay, I can't do it right now. Okay. Right, never mind. Let's carry on with the other and go into Q2. 15 cars then left, and of course at the end of the 15 minutes we'll lose another 5 of those drivers, of course leaving the top 10 to go for it for pole position in Q3. First car on the circuit will be Imri. Hang on, I do know what to do. Bear with us a moment. Because I'm muted, I've just realised that. That is quite frustrating. I'm not quite sure what's going on at the moment. Okay, so yeah, so that was my mistake. I did mute myself by accident, so apologies for that. Even towards turn 5 here. Trying to figure out what's going on with the stream as of right now. Still waiting on 5 cars to come through at lap times. Obsessed, Curtis, AT, Matthew and Che. 4 of them on the track right now. One of them's going towards the last 2 points. It's Curtis. Curtis Piet over the line, 1 minute 43.036. 3 cars slower than him right now will be Ethan, Ben, and 10th. Chase starting his next lap though, because he spun out on this first one, so looking to see if he can get himself on the board, because it's not looking just obviously. Slow start from him thus far. But it's top Q1, so we know he's got pace right now. Imagine we'll slot in around Landlord and Imrie. Imrie's new teammate Matthew currently P9 right now on the board. Che coming through Paul now, just in front of Matthew. Got towards turn 14 now before he spun off. 1:14.3, this could be a very good time from Che. We'll keep an eye on him here as he makes his way through the last sector. Corners here, we'll see what he's got in the bag. Oh, 42.4 over the line. Now for 4th place on the board, enough to get him through, but slower than his teammate, and slower crucially than Imrie and Landlord. Of course, 35 points to gap to close in the Drivers' Championship. Ferrari still leading the constructors, but the gap obviously closed a fair bit by those at RB. 11 points is the advantage in favour of Ferrari right now. All 15 cars have times on the board now, 5 minutes to go. Right now it's Obsessed, Ethan, Ben, 80 and 10 all going out. Matthew the last car in the top 10. Only a few cars on the racetrack right now. Che on his in lap likely. Imrie is currently on a flyer. This makes it up towards the second sector. On 13.9. So looking like improvements right now for Imrie. It wasn't that much. Not enough. A lot of battery used here as he comes towards the last couple corners. To the bus stop, keep the car under control. And towards the line. 1:41.8. Not so bad lap at all. Yellow flag. The cars in front. That'd be the Alpine, I believe. It's Curtis. All clear now. Up to speed again. Change the pit lane here, so his second run is over. We're lining it all the way up to the pit entry. 1, 2 done. And likely that we will see from Imri retires, then fastest time of the session so far. We've got a tow here off the Aston Martin of AT. Those two go with the same sort of plan again. Going to point out the Astons again. EJ there in P5. Pace is on for the two Astons in qualifying as right now. But AT's got a bit of work to do to get himself into the top 10. But right now, only 4/10 the gap as it stands. So it's very close between the bottom half of the order. More or less from Matthew on down. Tenth cam 144 dead. That was our first time. So he's got some work to do. Needs to improve by more or less 3/4 of a second exactly. Or just over 3/4 rather, because that will put her at 1,000 off. Jay retiring. So all set in P4 right now. Two minutes to go. AT on the racetrack there, again in behind Grumio. And retires too. We go P6 right now, so he's looking to put himself up the board once more. DRS deployed. Keeping up with Grimir right now, keeping pace, and that'll be Q3 pace without a doubt. Aston to get both their cars into pole position shootout. That's for the first time next season. Seconds left now. Getting towards the end of the session. Obsessed coming through the last couple of corners now to start what will be his last lap. Ben's on the racetrack. And then backs off, lets AT go through. He's invalidated though. And again, after a good tow from Grumio at the last, AT may not advance here. This could be tough. Have both laps been invalidated here for the impediment in the last sector? Websy retires. He's there in P7, likely safe. Checkered flag is up. 10 towards the line. Improves to P10. Up by just under 9/10 of a second on her previous lap. If one car below her improves, that could be it. Matthew is up in the first sector. He's in down to P11 now. On his full-time RDL debut. Up by a full second now. Purple sector 2, and that could potentially be Curtin for 10th. Which could put her back out of qualifying again. Obsessed improving slightly. Now in sector 2. Bed up by half a second. AT up by a second, but well, down by a second, sorry, but obviously invalid, so he is likely out. I think he is out. Matthew last corner though, and towards the line. Up to P2! 141.9 from Matthew, and that will knock 10th out of qualifying here. PJ up to P8. Obsessed improving by 500ths. Going into the last sector. We can gain another. We can gain 600. That could be enough to top Ethan, take P13 away. Ethan is out qualifying. 10th is also out qualifying. Curtis goes out as a result. Obsessed P13 then. 18 to pit lane, and that'll cap off qualifying number 2. Imri takes away the top of time in the session, but Matthew makes it a Haas 1-2 there, second place for the full-time debutant. He's done several races as reserve, but we haven't seen pace like that from him as of yet. Of course, it's made Q3 before, again as a reserve, but this will be the first case for him making it all the way. Well, I think if anything, we're in for a fantastic last round of qualifying here. That cap us off for this qualifying session, going into Q3, and we'll see if we can actually get a look at the results this time round. There we go. So Imri fastest, Matthew in second, Landlord finishes third, and Dan and Che fourth and fifth for Ferrari. EJ, Grumio, PJ, Ben, and Websy all going through. Curtis 10th, Obsessed, Ethan and AT all going out. AT, that invalidation from the last lap was costly there, and likely the reason why I didn't get as how the grid might have wanted. But one Aston Martin going through to Q3. It's time now for our remaining 10 drivers to have the scrap pole position and see who will lead the field up to the source in about 20 minutes time. Here we go then, last part of qualifying. 10 drivers left in a session. Of course, 3 teams getting both their cars into Q3. So those teams being the top 3 in the standings. Sorry, excuse me, the top 2 and then 4th place in the standings now. Apologies. Williams have taken 3rd place from Haas. So Haas got both their cars in with Matthew and Imri. Lando and Grimmian both making it for RB. And then Che and Dan, ever present in the top 10 for Ferrari. Imri, the first car on the track by quite some distance here. That was a remarkably quick entry onto the circuit. Just get a sense of how eager it is for how eager he is to get onto the racetrack. So we'll see then who has got the pace. Ferrari's the same run plan as they usually do. EJ in behind them. Down towards pull on every car on the racetrack early on. No one hanging about in the pits. Everyone is on it. It should be 10 minutes here. So last few corners, and Imri again going wide there. That's part of his plan for the lap. And to start his first one with the last session of qualifying. Up to turn 1, let's let you on have a look at just a bit more inner workings of that Haas machine right now. Overtake the floor and the run down towards Eau Rouge, that's turn 2. And up to Radion. First sector on the board, 30.8. over the curves a bit there. Not sure if there's any more you might have liked. On there. Just went on Ben now. The last car to come through starts at this time lap. And towards the second sector now. We'll see what Imrie stacks up. 1 minute 14. A bit slower here compared to his previous efforts. 1:14.1. So that might not be as strong. Last corners then. All is deployed that's been used. And up towards the line for his first lap, 1:41.9. So still a solid lap. He made up for that. Perhaps the slower sector 2, the fast sector 3. And the two Ferraris coming behind. Chasing first, then Dan. And EJ behind them as well. In a little 3-car train. Towards the line. Che fastest, Dan fastest. So both those guys improving. EJ there P4 1:42.017. Next car to the line will be the Sauber of PJ, the lone Sauber in the session, but invalidating here. And going off to the pit lane for his first run to come to an end. Matthew on his way through now. Puts it into second place last round. What can he do this round? Off the corner up towards the line. 1:42.5. Slowest times of the 5 so far. Grumio 1:41.3. And the pace is still very much there for the reigning 8-time series champion. Webbs into the last few corners here, pitting. Calling time on his first run before he reaches the line. Here comes Ben to the last few corners. Ben, of course, now only made it through Q1. After retiring on his final lap, Alvar, of course, his teammate invalidated. And Ben finding himself 7th now as a result. But Webbsy, Landau and PJ not setting their first laps. Are we bringing that car into the pits? So 7 times on the board then, and the times headed by Grumio 1:41.310. Dan second, Che third, Imrie fourth, EJ fifth, then Matthew and Ben, the last 2 cars at times. Webbsy, Landau and PJ, again, haven't set theirs yet. Went round for one, all called it into the pits. But still, a very close race in prospect here, particularly up front for the leaders. There's a DRS train can be murder around here. PJ back on the racetrack, as is Webbsy. Both those cars heading out for another run here. Into the pit lane now. Waiting on Landau to come back out. Over 3 yet at times. 5 minutes left. Imagine Landau will come back out at the end of the session when everyone else does for their second and last runs. Last lap times getting on their way shortly, I imagine. PJ towards the line, starting his next lap. Webbsy joining him now. PJ into the first sector, 30.966. Webbsy coming through, we'll see this time is 30.826. Webbsy's a bit faster than the two in the first sector there. PJ through turn 9. No, run he goes! And a skid off there will have massive detriment to his qualifying time. And that could potentially seat him in P10 for the race itself. Has he got enough time to come? He's got enough time to come back round, but those tyres will be scuffed. Webbsy through turns 12 and 13. Minute 14.3 seconds back for Webbsy. Regarding his teammate who's not going to be able to make it tonight, so it would be 19 cars for the race to my account here. So Webbsy, the lone point scorer for Williams in their attempts to try and stay in front of Haas. A Haas team that look particularly dangerous tonight. Webbsy towards the line. We're at 41.2. Puts us on to P6. Emery, a quarter of a tenth up on his start of his last lap. 2 minutes to go. Will this be his last lap? I imagine so. Unless he makes a mistake and saves the Eresco for one more. Wide there, but avoiding the gravel at no name. And down towards pool 1. Really sliding that. Look at it go. Landlord starting his last lap now. He's P10. PJ kind of 5,000s up at the end of the first sector. I'm not sure where it was. Obviously, he'll be down in down going through turn 9. He made the mistake, so that's why we've seen gain the time back. 2 minutes and 5.5 seconds on the board. Williams Webbsy slow in front of him. There we go. That's the last minute of qualifying. Two RBs running nose to tail right now. I've got a stopped Haas here. Emery. You got damage? Looks like he has. He's P4, but he's damaged the car. So I'll do it for him then. Matthew P7 right now. Starting what looks like his final lap. But a big lock up there at turn 1. Ben coming through now. PJ 15.6 seconds up. Still need some more though. Grimmy on Landlord, imagine both are improving here. Last few corners then. Can Grimmy improve and further solidify pole? He can. 1 minute 41.072. Landlord goes P4. So tops Emery, who's still out there with that damaged front wing. Second flag is up for the last time in this session. Matthew 10th up. Grumio retires there, but it's on pole as of right now. But will that change? Chase in sector 2. What does he have? He needs about 7/10 or so. Dan's been the fastest of the two as of right now. Yellow flag down and going towards turn 14. Looks like Emery, yes it is. See Emery's back off at some stage to allow those two cars through should they catch him. That'll be EJ and Che. So then let's Che go. So what does Che have now? He's 3/10 up. Needs a bit more though. Those 3/10 could land him on the front row to try and fight Grumio going to turn 1. He's got to nail this last part of the circuit. Off the last corner and towards the line. What did Che have lined up? He goes pole. He goes fastest. What a last sector. Che's done it. Pole by 2/1000 of a second. And that was close. That was dangerously close at the end of the session. Imri coming to the last corner was invalidated. P5 for him. With that broken wing. Lando retires 2. PJ retires, and that'll do it then. Che at the last takes pole position for the Belgian Grand Prix. Grumio line up 2nd, Dan 3rd, Lando 4th, Imri 5th, and EJ, Matthew, Websy, Ben, and PJ the top 10. He has done it. What a lap from Che at the very end of qualifying there to take pole. I'm looking for a 2nd win in as many races. We're looking for win number 4 on the campaign. Che is on pole, P1 for him. Fantastic qualifying for Ferrari. So they line up 1st and 3rd, but the RB's lining up 2nd and 4th, so it's all to play for. The 2 Haas cars there, P5, P7, EJ separating into the sandwich in the Aston Martin, and the Williams, McLaren, Kick Sauber all have a chance at some solid points today. This should be a fantastic Grand Prix. So make sure to join us back here in a minute or two, and we'll get this thing underway. Here we go. Looks to be getting set to get early, a bit earlier than usual. Someone's ready up. I won't say who, but have a quick look at the circuit there. There is the circuit's display Francorchamps, of course, the graphic design by our very own JB as always. The longest lap of the season. Grumio is the defending winner. 22 laps coming our way today. Of course, it's all dry weather for this one, so should be very entertaining indeed. So here we go now. The car's getting set for the formation up to get us on the way. See what's going on right now. Migrating post. Lobby restart. Okay, right, so let's go back, and it'll be a minute or two before we get this underway as Chase sends the car off into the wall. So bear with us, we'll be back shortly. Okay, we are back and we are set to go racing. Apologies for the delay, but now we should be getting going at 10 past 8 UK time. Should be a very entertaining 22 laps around the Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps for Belgian Grand Prix. The weather is absolutely perfect today over the Ardennes Forest, and Grumio looking to defend that championship lead. 35 points the gap going into this one. Che slashed out a little bit after the victory last 10 out in Hungary. Following the Grand Prix last week and the steward report on Tuesday. Grumio caused a collision on lap 13 between himself, Che and Landlord. He got a 10-second time penalty for that, and as a result slipped to P4 as Che went on to win the race. So lost a few more points compared to what he would have done. Just waiting now the last car to ready up, and then we'll get racing. Okay, so we'll take you through the starting lineup now, and also in terms of strategies for this race, or in terms of tyres rather. So starting from dead last then, and starting on the medium tyre will be JB. Even split in terms of starting tyres today. JB lands up by himself there on row 10. On row 9 it's Cotley Goblin in starting 18th, and 17th goes to Red J. P16 is Alvar, and starting on the mediums, as is AT. He lands at P15. Ethan 14th, soft tyre start for him. Obsessed on the hards, he'll go from 13th on the grid today. Tim Cannon starts from 11th, starts from P12, on the medium tyres. 11th is Curtis, again also mediums. 4 cars on soft tyres in the top 10, the rest of all on the medium tyre. PJ Cal lines up P10, and another Q3 appearance for him. Ben, of course, almost got knocked out in Q1 after Alvar's late mistake invalidating, that kept him through. Webbsy lines up in P8, the lone Williams car tonight, unable to make it. Matthew lines up P7 for his full-time debut in the RDL, Haas being his first team. EJ P6 for Aston Martin, perhaps his best chance at points yet. We'll see where he stands in 22 lap time. Imri lines up P5 on a soft tyre, looking for a shorter first stint, looking to take advantage of the cars around him on mediums. Landlord lines up P4, it's a formation between the two championship leaders in the constructors, RB and Ferrari. Dan lines up P3, Grumio lines up second place, and Che will start from pole. Of course, in terms of race wins this season, Che has 3. Won the opener at Bahrain, 1 in China, and 1 last week in Hungary. Landlord has 1 victory, that was achieved in Austria. Dan has 1 victory at Imola. Grumio has won all the rest. So 8 races for Grumio already in the pocket this season, yet Che still sits about a race win and a half behind him. So it's all still to play for, because obviously in the majority of races where Grumio has won the race, Che has finished in second, or at the very least on the podium. Of course, we're reaching an exciting next few rounds. Of course, today's race at Spa, the next week race taking place at Zandvoort, and of course the 100% race will be taking place at Monza, so it should be very entertaining 53 laps there, but plenty of time and 2 races to get through before we get to that. So the last few cars coming around, the last few corners, take their spots on the grid. JB is there at the tail end. A few cars missing their grid slots here, as the last few cars take their spots. So here we go now, the lights getting ready to come on to get the Belgian Grand Prix underway. Round 14, time to bring the action here at Spa. It's lights out, foot to the floor. Go, go, go. We are racing the Ardennes Forest up towards turn 1, towards La Source. Che with a good start, cover off Grumio, going towards that first corner on the inside of the better line, going through turn 1. Keeps the car on the wraps and moves away the lead. Dan stays in 3rd place. Imri passing Landlord for 4th though on the way down towards Eau Rouge for the first time. Landlord still alongside him there. Plenty of changes in the back of the field up towards Eau Rouge for the first time. Close to contact. Imri and Landlord, both cars holding to it to make their way up through Radion now. And Che up into the lead of this thing, holding on. But here comes Grumio, closing on the run towards Lecombe for the first time. Webbsy to the inside, looking around. Cars going side by side. Grumio to the inside, takes the lead, going into Lecombe, turn 5, close to contact. And both cars almost go off the circuit at different times. Che moves back in the lead, down around the outside, and Grumio going through turn 7 and down towards 8 now. It's still side by side. Grumio gets back in front. Imri around the outside, Landlord. Those two still going side by side position. Number 5, Matthew in behind them. Webbsy and EJ side by side. Ben and PJ going at it. Curtis is back there in P11. AT down to 80 up some places. 10th is down a place or 2. Alvar, Red J with JB up 3. Obsessed, Ethan copying back in the field. But Che though up by 3/10 from the start of this one. And a great getaway at the start. Of course, Grumio challenged on the run towards turn 5, but couldn't make that move stick. But of course, DRS be in play next time round. A lot of racing to go as PJ gets around Curtis for P10. Those two going side by side. Curtis wins back out, and AT down the inside now going into turn 14. Contact between the pair of them. So PJ's got any damage. 10th cannon right on the tail of the Sauber now, making their way through towards turn 16 now. A lot of cars using a lot of battery here. Grumio right on Che's tail, but will likely want to try and wait to set up going up down the Kemmel Straight on lap 2. Out the last corner, Che will lead the first lap, 21 to go. Oh, contact in the back. JB and Red J colliding at the last corner. Both cars to the back of the field. Courtney Goblin on the outside of the pair of them going towards turn 1. We'll get in front of JB and Red J will back off. Those two going side by side. Into the source once again. It's Che from Grumio down in 3rd. Imri passing Landolf there for 4th, holding on to that place. Matthew there, P6. Websy, EJ, Ben, and Curtis your top 10. And down the Kemmel Straight again. DRS in play for the first time. The fans on their feet as Grumio pulls to the inside of the racetrack. The reigning champion going through and up into the race lead outright for the first time all day. Che there in 2nd place now. Want to try and keep with the race leader as best he can. These two clearly the fastest on track by quite some way. Yellow flag behind them as they make their way through the end of the first sector, start the second. Behind in contact. Oh, one of the Sables off the circuit. That's PJ. At the back of the field. So a bit of damage too. I'm not sure if he has got any damage. Everyone else seems all okay right now. They'll continue on as they are. Che right on Grumio's tail. Looking for any sort of advancement he can make. Grumio has a lot of batteries in play right now. He's not using any of his. He's keeping his charge completely full here. Rest of the field following the pursuit as they make their way through turns 14, snaking their way through the 2nd sector into the 3rd. And Che may look through Grumio then just try and set up for a move. And I imagine for the majority of the race in terms of this race for the lead, it'll be these guys keeping as they are until they make their way onto the Kemmel Straight again. Out the last corner. Grumio leads again. Dan Imri both setting fastest laps there. Imri with a bonus point going his way right now. And Curtis right behind him there. Ben running P9 from McLaren as it stands right now. So got 10 points already this season. Right now we'll be jumping his teammate Alvar if he scores 2 from where he is. AT P10, so P11. He's currently 2.7 seconds off of Curtis right now. He's got Alvar right on his gearbox as they come out rally on. Che reclaims the lead up front. His pass here will likely be passed to the outside for 11th place. There goes Alvar. AT ducks back into line. Ethan making the move on 10th cannon. Obsessed Gamer closing in a fair bit as well. JB and Cottney. JB a bit deep there. Goes off the racetrack and rejoins behind Cottney. P17 has not been fantastic for the Alpine driver so far. Of course, that early bit of collision on the first lap with Red J. Not quite sure what caused that. But around the outside of Cottney Goblin. And there's definitely still always some fight in JB. Landlord early penalty. 3 seconds, multiple warnings. That'd be crucial for RB's fight later on in this race. Obsessed Gamer gets one too. So we'll start to see those coming through at this point in the Grand Prix. Of course, we'll look towards turn 18 as a crucial part. Of course, where we saw a number of drivers invalidate their laps later on in qualifying. None more crucial than AT, obviously, getting the toe from Grumio across the lap and perhaps getting speed to get into Q3. And from there, hitting the curb at the wrong angle in the bus stop, and as a result, losing that time and going out and starting P15. He's on to P13 now. He was as high as P11, but he's lost places to both Alvar and Ethan. Out the final corner again, Che in control. Imri right on Dan's tail there. Che fastest lap, 144.891 on the board now. Into the first corner once again. And Grumio likes to try and look for a move here, but Che trying to pull away if he can. He's about half a second to the good over the reigning champion. Behind them, Webb's running P5. It's Landlord, Matthew, EJ. Up the hill again. Got a gap there from P10 to P11. 3 seconds. That's what 3 seconds looks like in Formula 1. Curtis to the outside of Ben making that pass for 9th place. Grumio reclaims the lead. Land on Webbsy making moves. Landlord up to P5 now. Webbsy knocks that train and might potentially come under pressure from Matthew and the Haas on those soft tyres. Well, Webbsy also on soft tyres, but any mistakes that he makes could get advantage of by the Haas He's making his first full-time start in the race of driving leagues, but he's been fantastic in reserve appearances as of late. JB penalty there, third driver to get one tonight. Look at Che practically shoving Grumio through Poo on there. That's how close they are together. He can go for a move to the outside here, so that's not preferred line, but going into turn 12, but into 13 at the inside looking in. And will he clear him? He will clear Grumio off of 13. It might open the door for Dan to try and close in too. Imri right behind these guys. The top 4 in the championship. Running 1, 2, 3, 4 in the race, but of course the only inaccurate placing to those two is these two being swapped, Grumio and Che. Of course, I'm sure this is of course the way Che, I'm sure, would like it to be. But Grumio sticking to him like glue here as they come through the last couple of corners. Imri, I think, consider the move on Dan, but not to be smart enough, keeps it in line. I mean, those two hard tire starts, the Mercedes cars going for a longer first stint. Obsessed in P14 right now with the penalty, and Red J back in the pack P19. 1 second off of PJ, and that's out of DRS range. And could be perhaps, if he's unlucky, falling away. Che leads once again. We're on lap 5 of this thing. Grumio's still there on his tail. Imri might go for a move here for third place. As Grumio closes, goes to the inside once again. Cat and mouse between those two, going back and forth. But Matthew passing Websy behind them. So pass made there for the 6th position. Websy dropping back now. And EJ with the next car wants to try and get around. EJ with the next car wants to try and pass Websy for that spot. Curtis and Ben still nose to tail right now. But Alvar closing that gap though. He's pulled away from AT by a considerable margin. Now he's under pressure from Ethan in P30 and Obsessed behind them both. Looking to try and capitalise any advantage that he could take from that. So come through towards turn 9 and now towards 10 down at the bottom of this little hill. So Grumio leading both Ferraris here. Che and Dan considerably closer together than they were previously. Grumio is keeping himself very busy. He's got his hands full of the cars behind him. Imri is still stuck back there, yet to really make a move for the first spot in this race. But I imagine it won't be too long before he does so. So make their way through turn 17. Fantastic circuit this is. Of course, this never used to be the case in terms of the last sector. Remodified in the mid-2000s. For 1 year there wasn't a Grand Prix here, I forget which. But of course it was to accommodate for the redesign of the last sector. It used to be, we say bus stop chicane, it used to be a lot more of a bus stop chicane. But it used to be a left-hander at turn 18. And then definitely a lot faster corner compared to what it is now. And it used to be a left-hander runs to the line as Che looks to lead back. Came on straight been unchanged for a long time here. And that pass is made. Che back in the lead on lap 6. And now Dan might try the inside. Won't go for it. Grumio locks up behind them. Imri just with a front row seat right now, watching this all play out. Landlord P5. At the bottom of the zone right now. 1.3 behind Imri, but 1.6 in front of Websy. Matthew being closed on by EJ. Websy's got that place back though. And then Williams, so P6 back in his possession. Now goes EJ on the inside, and Matthew there. Almost backed off on corner actually going through turn 8. I'm not sure what the game plan was there, but he's managed to hold on to the spot. Of course, crucial for Matthew to be jumping in the car and scoring points from the get-go, preferably being up there challenging with the leaders, or at the very least, he's got to be keeping Websy at bay. Got to get around Websy because, of course, Williams are being chased by Haas now for points. That position changed in the last couple of rounds. Of course, Pope struggles with his wheel in recent races. Hadn't scored for a few rounds. Che again has Grumio on his tail. Speeding through this race right now, I'm coming to lap 7 of this thing already. Of course, Spa is one of the longest circuits we go to this season, if not the longest. Looking around 8 kilometres. 44 laps to a life Grand Prix, the lowest lap count we have in the campaign. We're looking at sort of high 20s to sort of high 30s in terms of lap counts. The longest, the biggest lap count would be in Monaco, that's 39. Belgium is the smallest. Closing again. And the game continues on for these two, but this time Che used them, he's not using his batteries on medium. He's got a bit of an advantage here, and Grimio won't go for the lead this time, so Che will hold the lead for a lap. Grimio improving by a tenth on his previous best time. EJ making the pass now, Matthew for 7th place. EJ, of course, still looking for his first points. There's 4 drivers yet to score now. Red J, EJ, AT, and Matthew. All of them waiting for points this campaign. Battle here for P12. Ethan keeping AT obsessed at bay. AT on the inside, though, on corner exit. Got a run going into turn 8. What a pack this is mid-pack. Fighting for place outside the points. 5-car train here, racing for positions. Around the outside goes AT. EJ gets a warning, gets a penalty, his teammate. AT off into the gravel briefly. There goes JB up the inside. JB fighting back here from that poor qualifying. He goes through Puon. It's up a number of places here. We might try and challenge Ethan for position number 12 here. Look at this train from P12 on back. And Alvar now closing with teammate Ben, who's still chasing Curtis with P9. Those guys are about 3 seconds back from Matthew. Of course, he's the end of the little train here. Websy 3 seconds back from the top 5. Landlord's closed the gap in. Imri's fallen away a little bit, so the top 3 all by themselves. Imri out of DRS range, could find some under pressure. But Imri's going to the pit lane now. So obviously on those soft tyres for a shorter first stint. Into the pit lane now. First car in. We'll see what about to emerges. And we'll see in terms of the game plan of tyres what the Haas team be onto. It's a set of mediums here. And is he going for the 2-stop? Is he going soft, medium, soft perhaps? He's at the pit exit, will emerge in this little train, but it's crucial he gets around them, or at the very least keeps his nose clean here. Tries to avoid losing any time to the cars in front, but Obsessed, his former teammate, putting under pressure. But loses a spot as a result to Cockney Goblin. Loses one to PJ. 10th might try and get through as well. And that move towards Eau Rouge perhaps didn't work out for him. I mean, he's fortunate to avoid any contact. Imri P14 as of right now. Obsessed game with a penalty. Things have not gone well this lap from so far. At least the last couple of corners haven't. 10th candidate's a surprise to see her back here right now. Of course, sits in P7 in the Drivers' Championship. The next car to pass 100 points should she make it. She's on 77 right now, 7 clear of Cott. And if she can score tonight, that gap will increase a little bit. But as of right now, nothing on the board for her. Grimio now leading Che by 6/10. Dan's fallen away. He's about a second and a half back. Landlord 2.4 behind. He's got no Imri to fall off of now. Websy 3.5 behind. The gap getting larger and larger. So we get to Matthews, about just under a second behind at Websy, but potentially may get DRS off of the Williams here to make their way up towards turn 18 again. EJ behind them now. Still in P7. Ben, Kurtz and Alvar, thanks to Imri pitting, won the points. Imri, they're in P13. Landlord making a stop now, off those medium tyres. Next car, the leaders to pit. Landlord is in. Hard tyres going on, so he's going to the end of the Grand Prix on those. And he'll emerge behind Imri. He might emerge behind him, reasonably close. He will. Now this will be interesting, because these guys will be emerging in the middle of this pack. And you'll see cars around them boy try and get involved. Obviously these guys don't have to get away from these for Imri or Landlord. It's up to the Haas and the RB to try and find the way through this pack themselves. Imri passing Ethan and closing massively on JB as well. Up the inside of both cars, a double whammy. Imri takes P10, and Landlord has to get around these guys without the help of DRS. And going through the more technical part of the circuit, which will last going down to around turn 15. We're only reaching turn 8 now. Landlord back and going out of line a little bit there, trying to find some sort of opening. We've seen passes made around the outside of the track and this part of the circuit. Saw JB do it early on. Of course, we saw AT attempt it, but wound up in the gravel. AT the car behind Landlord at the stands, because he's been used to being behind an RB tonight based on what we've seen so far in qualifying. So the two McLarens there, P9, P8, chasing Curtis, who's kept them both at bay. Matthew P6, closing on EJ. But imagine his soft tires start to wear out as well Websies. Dan by himself, 3 seconds back from Che and Grimio, but 6 seconds in front of Websy. So it's these two, once again, after 9 laps, make that 10, they find themselves all together. And the dance of destiny between these two for championship points begins once again. Dan into the pit lane here, so first stop for Ferrari. Hard tyres going on, so one stop in play for those guys. But what is Imri's plan? He's on those medium tyres, and I wonder if he can actually make those last to the end of the Grand Prix. But fastest lap for him, so they've got pace in them right now. Matthew in. EJ stayed out. So Webb's the last now, the soft runners to pit as PJ and Cotton Golden both come in. Double stack for Red Bull. And things haven't gone fantastically for them so far. 10th and Cottony both in the back. Medium tyres for Cottony, hard tyres for 10th. So changes in plan, differing strategies to the two Red Bulls. They'll want to try to get this out of the order here. 10th will be feeling the damage from that, the double stack, being the second car in line. Webb's got EJ behind him again, and right behind him there. With Aston they've been fighting to try and pull away from Mercedes in the fight not to be last place in the standings. Aston, of course, has started this season with Gang James and Flying Duck in the car. Of course, the pairing that came up short in the Constructors' Championship with RB last season. RB find themselves again second place in the standings right now. Imri on the tail of the two McLarens now. Looking at Ben on corner exit. He's dancing fast. Watching those contact, Ben looks a bit out of sorts there. At the halfway point, Che pitting. Hard tyres going on. Webb's coming in too. EJ joining him. Curtis still staying on the racetrack. Ben coming in, so it's just Alvar and Curtis for him to pass now. He's getting back to his original spot. And he's passed Dan as well. So Imri's done fantastically in the pits. Getting around a number of cars. Imri penalty though, that won't help his case. Seven cars with penalties right now as Alvar looks to try and challenge Curtis on the outside, going into turn number 5. Close to contact. That might have been a rubbing of tyres, but Imri trying the outside for turn 6. Excuse me, for turn 7, sorry. Got him disconnected. Now he's trying for the inside of turn 8. Imri is on the ball today. And on pace with Che on those hard tyres. Of course, he's on the soft tyres at first. But can he make those mediums last at the end of the race? I don't think he can, truthfully. I think they may run out. But he's used them as effectively as he can while they're still fresh. Fantastic stuff. Grumio 18 seconds in front of Che right now. It's around the sort of time I imagine the time of the pits will be. He's got serious pace in the Haas right now. Of course, we saw it briefly in qualifying when he managed to top Q2 as a Haas 1-2. Matthew got second. Grumio's in. The last of the leading cars comes to pits, and Che will likely take over the race lead again. Needs to be a quick stop from RB to get himself back, get Grumio back on the circuit in time. Has Grumio gained anything by being on the track a bit longer? Go for the overcut. He's done. Che's on the main straight here, starting lap 12. Up towards turn 1. I think Grumio might just have this one here. Do the first corner. Grumio gets back out in front, but Che will be right on his tail. Grumio so in front and retains the lead of the Grand Prix and on the fresher tyres by a lap. Not a lot of difference given the hard tyres, but the fight begins once again. These two will start closing each other once more. Che 6/10 behind. And if these two start fighting, Imri may try and take advantage of that, try and close in. Curtis P4 right now. Alvar, him and Alvar keeping both Landlord and Dan at bay here. Landlord to the inside of Alvar going in. Tim Cannon's retired. Retired in the pit lane here. Perhaps down on pace. Che's close here. Looking for a move. Tim's Cannon out then. No safety car, so she's pulled into the pit lane. Imri 1.3 behind now on those medium tyres. Of course, has that penalty to think about, so we need to establish a lead if he was going to try and win this race. Back to turn 1 and lap 13, entering the last 10 laps of this race. Landlord and Dan fighting for position here. Che reclaim the lead. We may get 10th in potentially for a quick chat. Going into turns 5 and 6 again. Into Lecom. Che holds the lead. Matthew passing JB. Landlord passing Curtis. Both cars get around at the Alpine now. Oh, damn, makes contact. And stays behind Curtis. We do have 10th in for a brief chat here before we get back to the action. 10th, commiserations, what happened out there?
I forgot my SATA, and I tried to stick with it. I gave it like half the race, but I dropped through a field and I was eventually passed by Cottney, and I knew at that point that there was not really much point in continuing. I lost the DRS at some point, so oh well. I just decided to throw in the towel.
Gotcha. Apologies, my Discord wasn't working for a second. Not quite sure what's happening at the moment, but frustrating, I imagine. But is this going to start potentially a pointless streak? We're hoping not, because it's been a good run of races to you recently.
Well, I'm not going to have the opportunity to score points for 2 weeks, as I'm not going to be here. But as soon as I get back, fingers crossed for getting back in the points. I think I definitely have the speed to do so. I've just had some bad luck the past couple of weeks, so just hope it changes.
2 weeks, that'll be Monza, won't it? So the week after next?
I think it'll be after Monza.
Okay.
I'll check real quick. I'm pretty sure it is after Monza I'll be back.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it'll be after Monza. So, Baku will be when I get back.
What will be the hopes there? Do you reckon there's a good chance of points in that circuit?
Yeah, I think so, as long as I can keep out the walls. That tends to be the aim of the game around Baku. If I can get a good bit of practice in and just manage to keep out the walls for the entirety of the race, I'll probably be alright. Also, if I can get qualifying alright. That was a big thing today.
Yeah, I have to agree with you, truthfully. It didn't feel right seeing you going out in Q2. Well, thank you for coming to chat with us, and hopefully things go back to when you come back.
Thank you.
No
yeah. Fuck, my words are so bad.
All good. Thanks, Dan, for coming along, and we'll cut back now to the action on the circuit. Grimir holds the lead over Che right now. Imri's fallen back a bit, so those medium tyres perhaps not doing as well as they were earlier on. Will we see him make a late stop? Is he banking on a safety car, perhaps? There's still time for one at this stage of the Grand Prix, but plenty of time still to come. Apologies if 10th's first answer was quite loud. It turns out my Discord wasn't connected to my headphones for some weird reason. A lot of technical errors tonight. It's been a long one. It's Grimir sets the fastest lap. Well, obviously we're here now, and obviously you notice the game no longer lagging as it was in qualifying. So we're going from here to the end of the checker flag for the back here as it stands right now. It's still a long train here. Ben's falling back. He's not outside of the points paying places right now. JB in the pit lane. On those medium tyres since the first lap, as has Alvar. So what's he going for? And we'll get a sense as to what Alvar goes on to here as well. Once JB makes a stop, I imagine we'll be looking at the same strategy. Likely soft tyres. It is soft tyres for JB. See that pack he was in coming through and down the main straight. So emerged behind those guys, but obviously there's going to be a charge in the late stages to try and nab. Is there a chance for late points finish? EJ currently battling obsessed me on those hard tyres since the drop of the lights. So he'll have to stop too, but soft tyres likely going on that race car. EJ makes the pass. On course to Aston, his first points in the RDL. As is Matthew, points on full-time debut, which is always enjoyable to see. Landlord P5 chasing Dan, Imri in third place there, about 6 seconds in front of those two. And it's still these guys dueling. And of course, track limits will be critical in this race as well. So if one of these guys gets a penalty, there could be trouble for both of them, or for one of them rather, in terms of who wins this race. Getting close on the tail of Grimio to make their way up towards Turn 18 again. 7 laps to go across the line. Further back, here we see the thing back that's going on right now. The train seems to have evened out a little bit. JB Ocean P15 on those soft tyres. Curtis also on the soft tyres. So Alpine going for a bit different strategy from everyone else. Obviously passing Alba. Alba on the pit lane here. It's the last car, or the second to last car, coming for a stop. The last being obsessed. And in he comes. So everyone would have made at least one pit stop in this Grand Prix, and from there we'll go to the end. Shaving claims the lead. Going down towards turn 5. Imrie by himself. Landlord to the outside of Dan here. Breezes past the Ferrari. Puts him to P4 again. Matthew there, P6. Good points for Haas right now. They were looking to try and re-jump Williams in the standings if they can. Obviously, the lack of Cott being in the race right now, and just both being the lone car, definitely not helping their case. But obviously, real life comes first over the RDL. A little already in terms of league racing. JB passing Ben there. P13 now for the Alpine. A slide there through turn 6, and now 7 keeps it under wraps. The points paying place currently lies with Curtis. 1.3 behind Ethan himself. It's AJ that looks to be safe in P8 for now. He's about 8 seconds clear of those guys. JB's got pace though. He's closing on the gap to PJ. So going to turn 10 again. So looking around, see if he can go for that move. Won't go for it just yet. Back from PJ over there for the minute. In terms of penalties, he's reached the last 6 laps. Let's have a look at that here. 3 seconds for everyone on the board who's got a penalty except for Obsessed. So only over 2 penalties right now. It's Grimio getting close on Shea, but holds it in line. This time going towards Lacombe. Imrie's got 3 seconds, but it's safe right now with a Landlord. Dan looks to be set to finish in 4th place. Unless he can close the gap on Imrie, in which case he'll try and finish 3rd. Webbsy may get a place off Matthew, potentially. EJ is safe where he is. Alvar will likely lose places. PJ will jump up a spot or 2. Won't jump into the points or anything unless Curtis gets a penalty. So JB on his tail. JB has got penalties himself. Makes the pass on PJ. Alvar 1.8 seconds up the road his next target, who's currently chasing Curtis, who in turn has caught Ethan. So JB will try and nab a point if he can. And if one of these cars runs gets a penalty, that'll make things a lot easier for him. But obviously PJ there too will likely gain some spots into P11 if he can stay the rest of the race with that one and keep in range. It's going to be close in terms of should Curtis get one, whether or not he can catch him. It's going to be tight there. Back up front, Shea's got a lead here. He's almost a second in front of Grimio. 5 more laps to go. It's been an entertaining race up front. Just keeping right on Ethan's tail here. It's been a fascinating Grand Prix so far. A lot of battles up and down the field. And I'll close the gap to Curtis. Big run there off the last corner. What are you trying to go to the inside going towards turn 1? Won't do it. Of course, he's also on a set of soft tyres. Landlord passing it down here. Up front, Shea holds the lead from Grimio. This is going to be a fantastic end to this race. So of course, Grimio should be kind of sitting in line there as Curtis is a bit off his line going through Eau Rouge. Down the kettle straight again. There was a good run off of Ethan then, darting past the Sauber, who falls out the points like that. But obviously, will maintain P10 thanks to Alba having that penalty. If he gets one for himself, and it's game on. I'll open the door for JB behind. If these guys keep fighting, they'll allow him to close in. Try and take that last spot. They need one of those guys in front of him to get a penalty to help his case. Ben gets penalty, then P14. His teammate Alvar still fighting that spot. Ethan's close. Really trying to make a move. Won't go for it. There's Ben in P14. He's got 6 seconds now. Az has obsessed. So 2 gyros with 6 seconds now. Likely 18, Cockney Goblin and Red Joe will net those spots. Che is pulling away here. He's almost a second in front. Slide there off the last corner. And that could cost him a heap of time here. He's getting about half a second down the main straight into turn 1. Look at that. Down the main straight again. That's going to be going closer to try and take the lead away. He's staying in line. He's waiting for his opportunity to try and swipe the lead in the last lap. We've seen it happen before. What's going on? Alba a good run on Curtis here, going up towards turn 5. Brete penalty. Alba tries the inside, couldn't do it. Curtis just shuts the door. Can score 2 points for Alpine if he can get there. Defend the inside as Alba tries outside. Alba gets him, but locks up. Close to contact. Curtis is there. Curtis narrowly holds on to the place, and that's allowing JB to enter the party now. Side by side, turn 10, pull! Contact made. Curtis maintains the place, and we're lucky there's no spin there. That's, of course, that's a blind left-hander down the hill for the majority of the corner. Wouldn't have a lot of time to react if you saw a stationary car on your way down. 3 laps to go up front. Che is still your leader. Looking for win number 4 and a second on the spin to win consecutive races for the first time this season. Imri is right now on for a podium finish. Lando had that early penalty. Dan will take P4 likely, but it's not close enough to close in enough on Imri. So, Dan is 4 seconds. Lando is 4 seconds behind Imri, so right now he'll hold that place. Dino is still there with Che. He's got a lot of his battery left, as does Che. It's both these two cars looking here to carry on as they are. I think it'll be when we start the final lap and these guys really get racing. We'll keep looking further back as to what's going on, because this pack is very entertaining here. Curtis holds on to P9, Alba behind him, Ethan and JB. So we'll keep an eye on these guys down the Kemmel Straight. So this can get very tasty indeed. 4-car breakaway here. And PJ have a front row seat from a distance here. Got a back row seat for Cinema going down towards turn 5 here. Alba closing. Ethan and JB holding station. Alva to the inside, looking for the place again. Curtis, can be a lot more aggressive in his line. Alva trying the outside again, switching back. Poor exit from Curtis. Alva tries the outside once more. On those soft tyres, both cars locking up. Cockney Goblin penalties, make their way through turn 8 and now 9. Alva contact. Gets in front and luckily avoids damage as Curtis' front wing. JB in P11 looking to try and take advantage of these guys. If one of them gets a penalty, it's game on. We're saying that Ethan and PJ are both right there, got no penalty, so likely they might be able to try and nab the points. If Curtis gets a penalty too, slide there from Curtis, loses the car, around he goes, contact, he's out! And a valiant fight for points for Alpine ends in disaster. Curtis is out of contention there. Horrible shunt in the late stages to have. Che up front leads. JB into P10 now, but at what cost? Those Salvers are right behind. Ethan's lost a bit of time. He's got damage too. So PJ might be okay though. So JB may need to clear Alvar now. No, to take home 1 point for Alpine. 2 laps to go for those guys. Ethan into the pits. Frustrating end to the day for him. Dan and Landlord trading places. Ian in one of his own right now, set for P3. Matthew being passed for Websy. Matthew on for points. EJ on to score his first points too. 2 first-time point scorers here, and one of them on debut. And Che holds the lead. And these guys will at least wait until the final tour before they start racing. We've seen it before, and we've seen how close these two can get. You think to Hungary last week, you think to Spain, contact in the last lap, you think to Japan, race ended by separated by half a tenth out of the last corner at Suzuka. This is going to get very interesting. And it could be, it's anyone's game as who comes out on top. Is Grimio in the catbird seat there? Obviously, he'll have DRS on the run down towards Lecombe. A great run there. Chael needs to defend for his life. So it may all come down to who emerges out of turn 5 in front. We may still see them go side by side, as we've seen with Alvar and Curtis. And we saw how that ended. One of the cars is now out of the race. One more lap to go. This is it. The final tour around Spa-Francorchamps. And Che leads Grimio to Los Ours. Turn 1. If Che wins this thing, he can gain another 7 points in the standings. It would be 6 points rather, because Grimio holds the fastest lap. Grimio in hot lap mode. Che's just in his overtake early on to try and pull away. But Grimio now in overtake has got DRS to his play too. Goes to the outside. Che defends underneath. Can Grimio clear him? He can clear him just. Grimio takes the lead. And Che's used a lot of his battery there. It's going to be a big ask for him to try and get back around the RB here in the closing stages. Grimio pulling away here. He's gone. He's starting to try and check out. But what does Che have left in store? He used a lot more ERS than Grimio did to try and defend going down towards turn 5. So as a result, obviously he'll have enough to go for perhaps a last charge towards the bus stop. He's using everything in his repertoire to try and stay up with Grimio, but can't right now. This looks to be Grimio's race. He's biding his time, lying in wait there. There was a second clear here, and that margin will not tell the whole story. Grimio the lap that has sector to go. I think Che's given all he can give here. He held the lead for so long in this thing, but it's going to mount to second place once more, and that gap will go back up. 3 corners from home now. Grimio bided his time, laid in wait for 21 laps, and now as he comes off the last corner to take the flag, Grimio comes to the line, takes win number 9 of the season. He takes the Belgian Grand Prix and fastest up again to boot. Che finishes second. Third place will go to Imri here. Fantastic drive for him to get back on the podium for Haas. And attempt their ambitions to try and take P3 back from Haas. Landlord will finish across the line 4th, but Dan will take the place. Landlord finishes 5th. Websy over Matthew, who has scored points at the first time of asking in the RDL. EJ comes through, he's scoring 4 points for Aston Martin today. Crucial points in their bid to try and stay in front of Mercedes. EJ scores for the first time in the Race Driving League as a full-time driver. Of course, the impressive pair of reserves previously in Austria, of course, made Q3 for the first time together. Alvar P9, PJ had the last point for Sauber. JB comes on with frustrating P11. PJ takes the place over Alvar thanks to his penalty. Obsessed 12th in the end, good result for the Mercedes team, came back at the end. Ben 13th, Cockney Goblin will finish in 14th over Red J. Red J finishes 13th rather. Ben and Courtney both for penalties. ATP 16 spinning it over the line, and Ethan will come through frustrating into the race after that fantastic scrap, which of course led to Curtis DNFing, so lucky to make the flag. But Grimio then is your winner. Waited until the last moment to take the win. But credit to Jay for such a fantastic drive the entire way through there. That was very enjoyable to watch. Battles all the way down the field. 2 new point scorers. Imri back on the podium. Che second again. And Grimio on top once more. And pushing on towards that record-extending 9th championship. Still 10 rounds to go, so plenty of time for things to change in this season. But for now, Grimio and RB firmly on top. And Che and Ferrari will continue playing catch up in the Drivers' Championship. Emery may close them down a little bit with the extra points today. See if we can get a look at the final results later on. I'm thinking not, because the game hates spectators, which is always good. But a fantastic Grand Prix nonetheless, very enjoyable to watch. Hope you guys enjoyed as much as I did. Let me know what you thought down in the chat, and we'll see who we can get to come and have a word with us after the race. As always, thoroughly enjoyable there. Great fun. likely we'll see the two Mercedes. We'll see the Mercedes pair in here. They always come out towards the end of the race. Always good to see them. Always good to hear from them. But that'll do us right now. A fantastic race all round, as I say. Very, very enjoyable indeed. And my speakers are working this time, which is always good. And our first arrival then, Red J. P13 in the end, mate. Not a bad result, and obviously a lot of fighting for you guys, Mercedes, today. Talk me through it.
Yeah, it was a good race. Yeah, fun to be a part of. It's always fun around Spa. Quali wasn't great, but the race itself was, pretty fun. A couple incidents which, were a bit of a shame to get involved in, but nothing too bad. But the driving was really good. Maybe I could have had a bit of a better setup for the straights, but the car worked well in the corners. And I hate having a car that has, really bad understeer in the corners. I'd rather sacrifice, pace on the straight or better within the corners. That just suits my driving style more. But yeah, I think to come away with P13, we'll see what happens with penalties, whether I get any promotions from that or any demotions. It's one of those ones where it's pretty close, and a few penalties for drivers up above can get you into that top 10, but then it's quite easily the other way around as well, where if you get a 5-second time penalty for anything, then I could easily end up in last place. Obsessed did really well, decent quali. It's becoming expected now to kind of see him coming through into Q2 at least every single race, which is a great thing. And I think it is Monza next, and I have every confidence that we'll see him in Q3 for that. And I've got high hopes of having a good quali there as well. And I think Monza's 100% as well, isn't it?
Yes, it is. But I think if I double check my calendar here, I think it is Zandvoort next week, then Monza. So Zandvoort was chaos.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't mind Zandvoort either, to be honest. But we're getting nearer to Monza, and I can't wait for that. But this was still a fun race. I thought, you look at the people that finished in the 10, and Matthew, I thought did a great job. It'll be interesting to hear from him in a minute. I thought, really good considering, Haas have lost Pope. He's a great driver, we know he is. But it looks like they've replaced someone who, is very comfortable, a very comfortable points scorer. So I think, I'm sure Imri will be very happy with that, and a good drive from him today as well to get a podium.
Do you reckon there's an outside shot for you guys at Mercedes for points next week at Zandvoort? Because I know, obviously, you know as well as I do, it can be a chaotic race. There's every chance, I'd say.
Yeah, it can be. I've got a good strategy for that race that worked last year. Last season, I finished P8 in both Zandvoort and Monza back-to-back.
I remember that, yeah.
And I think I finished P6 on the road or P7 on the road, I think, in Monza, but penalties meant it was 2 P8s. And honestly, do you know what? I'd take a P10 just from one of those races because, how many races are we in now? 14 races through, and there's 22, 23 races or whatever on the calendar. It's getting to that point of the season where I'll take a point at any track. And I think genuinely, where's it going to come? It's probably going to come, or I hope it's going to come in one of the next 2 races, just because of how well I did there last season. But but we'll see. Of course, we're still in a fight with Aston and with McLaren, but I think ultimately we just got to focus on ourselves and just try and get as many strong qualifying and race results as possible.
Sounds good. So I'll keep an eye on you next weekend and the week after, see if we can get you in those points, yeah?
Yeah, let's hope.
All good, mate. Well, good job today. Good pace over the course of the race. And we'll come now to Matthew, of course, one of the RDL's newest 2 new point scorers. Matthew, congratulations, mate. First race in full time, first points on the board. How are you feeling?
Thank you. To be fair, it was a pretty good race overall. I think I had a pretty good start. I think was it EJ I might have gotten on the race start, but then I just tapped landlord on the Camel, and honestly, I thought I was gonna go straight in the wall, but I just about managed to save it. And I mean, yeah, I think I'm quite satisfied with where I finished. Obviously, the unfortunate penalty, I think the third one might have been a bit harsh, but it was my fault for getting the first two in the anyway, wasn't it? But yeah, Imri did extremely well as well to get that podium and it's good points for the team overall.
Of course, I was going to say, you fought a number of drivers across course the race, obviously, and of experienced drivers, Websy in particular, for example. Was there anyone in particular you particularly enjoyed fighting with?
Yeah, to be fair, once I pitted, I couldn't stop watching the delta between me and Websy. It was just coming down, and eventually I just thought I may as well let him pass. I've got that penalty. But then on the Kemmel on the final lap, I thought I'll have a go, but then let him pass just for a bit of fun. I did enjoy racing him a lot, and I'm sure there was others. But oh yes, getting past JB and one of the McLarens, I can't remember now. That made for a very intense moment or two.
I'd definitely say so. And honestly, I'll say this, you looked comfortable in the Haas almost right away. So I mean, is this going to be the start of hopefully a good points run? Or?
I'd hope so. If I'm being honest, I don't think I felt particularly comfortable. In quali, yeah, Q1 and 2, but Q3 I made a really bad mistake coming through the bus stop, and I think I lost probably about 5 tenths. It's just my wheel being a bit too far away, and it was just having a bit of cramp. But yeah, I hope so. I hope it's the start of a few point scoring positions.
Yeah, so obviously it's Zandvoort next. I know you haven't raced to Zandvoort in this league, but it is chaotic. So, is there any plan in particular to try and get yourself through that race?
Um, no, I think I'm just going to hope for the best. Obviously, I'll be practicing across the week when I can, and hopefully I can have good pace again like I have this weekend. Oh,
Sounds
sorry,
good.
this week.
Yes, sounds good. Honestly, I see no reason why not, mate. You're fantastic over the course today, and hopefully that form will continue for you. So good job on the point score. And we'll come now to JB, who of course finished just outside of the points end of the race. JB, commiserations there. Honestly, the pace you showed to obviously come back through the field, especially in that second stint, was fantastic. So what inspired the soft tires?
Well, last season stream inspired it. I had a look and I saw that the front runners had done the mediums to softs, and I did a bit of testing and to see what the wear was like, and it was okay. So I knew that's what I wanted to do. Unfortunately, it was all unravelled in qualifying. And on my only run, I clipped the inside wall of turn one and lost about half a second. And then Curtis was meant to give me a tow, but he mistimed it, so that also went out the window. So it was over at that point. I gained 3 or 4 places at the start, and then I had a collision with Red J at the chicane. I don't know what happened, but lost them all again. So sort of an uphill battle the whole race, but the pace was good, so that's something. It's just a shame to, be so close to the points and miss out, but it is what it is.
Obviously, you lost Curtis in the closing laps of the race. Did you catch any glimpse of what happened there?
He caught the curb through the S section, and then he was out of control, and he just tapped me, spun, and then Ethan collected him, and it tore his wheel off. So. Yeah, unfortunate. Will probably be looked at in the stewarding, but yeah, just one of those things.
I mean, obviously, you guys obviously not losing any ground to Red Bull in fifth place, just 4 points separating you, but Sauber just 3 behind. So I know you guys probably have the closest fight in the constructors right now. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I'd say so. It's been pretty intense. Of course, 10th's having a rough couple of races. She's the only one really scoring points for Red Bull, so that's good for us. Unfortunately, we don't seem to be scoring points either. And like you say, the Salvers are nipping away. Not many points behind now, but hopefully we can stay ahead. Yeah.
And obviously the battlefield that is Zandvoort coming up next week. Obviously. You've done alright in the past, haven't you? There, if I remember correctly. Or am I
Well,
completely
one
wrong?
of my 2 wins was there, although it
That was
was one on penalties. But it was, I think, across the line third or something. So I do have good pace there. It's one of those high downforce tracks where if you can get into a good rhythm, then you can score really well. So we'll see what happens there. But I think this is the 5th week of not scoring, so I really just need to nail qualifying, not invalidate or anything like that, and hopefully from there we can get some points back on the board.
We'll see if we can bring that pointless streak to an end. Sounds good. Obviously, like I said, commiserations on finishing just short points today. We'll come now last of all to Obsessed, who wound up P12 in the end of Obsessed. Am I correct on that?
Yep.
That was it. Okay, right.
Barring any penalties.
Obviously, yeah. Honestly, pace was strong for you today, mate. I was quite impressed with what I saw. Obviously, you're up there fighting in that sort of pack. Talk me through the race from your perspective.
Yeah, the pace felt good. I think the hards, they didn't feel amazing. But I couldn't go to mediums because the wear was just horrible on those. So I stuck out the hards until I could pit for softs. But before I pit, we were having some good battles up till Emery pitted and then came out. He came out ahead of me, and I tried to send it up Eau Rouge, and that just doesn't work very well. So I lost like 4 or 5 positions because of that. But yeah, kind of stuck with that pack then, and then pitted for softs, and I think the pace was amazing on the softs. They felt amazing, and I caught up to whoever was ahead of me pretty quickly, and then got ahead of Ben, thankfully. So when Curtis crashed, it was kind of a relief because Ben wasn't. I don't think he was as prepared for it as I was. Him obviously being on the side of the track, I think I saw it sooner and reacted a little quicker. So Ben had to slow down a little bit. So yeah, that gave me a little bit of breathing room. So, and then when he was out at DRS range, it was pretty comfortable from there.
Yeah, had a lot going on over the course. Very, very eventful race for you, I'd say. One thing Red made mention of was obviously you've gotten better and better in qualifying over the course of the season. Is it sort of the expectation now to be making Q2 each week?
Yeah, I kind of expect myself to make Q2 and kind of be. Well, I guess there's only 5 racers that get dropped after Q2, but in like those top 3, I kind of expect myself to be up there. Which some weeks that's not super achievable. Today, with the pace that everybody was showing, I wasn't even sure that Q2 was going to happen. I was very relieved when I saw that I think I was P12 going into Q2 from Q1. I was very relieved to see that. And then, yeah, going into Q2, I thought, I might be able to make it into Q3 today because I'm only about a 10th behind Matthew. And then Matthew just decides to drop an entire second off of his time. So that kind of dropped that dream, but yeah.
Well, good, mate. Well, like I say, I think the pace has been good for you in qualifying recently. And then obviously, last question, Zandvoort next week. I think for you guys, Mercedes game will be try and nab some more points over Aston Martin. Would that be the case?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's going to be the goal for every race going forward. Red J, I'm not sure how you feel about Zandvoort. I'm not a super big fan. I tend to have a lot of tire wear. Actually, last season, I think I pitted with 96 tire wear on one of my tires, and yeah, I don't want to repeat that.
Do you know what? I can see why.
I've got the ultimate one tire strategy, so I'll have to send that across to you.
Right.
And that came from Pope. That went from Pope to me, and I'll hand it over to you. And yeah,
Guys,
Lovely.
Let's keep an eye on you guys next week in terms of seeing what you got cooked up. So I'm looking forward
oh,
to
absolutely
seeing
will. Absolutely, you know what? Honestly, it might be a 1-2.
Do you know what? I'm going to hold you to that and see what happens next week. So we'll wait and see there. But yeah, that'll more or less do it for interviews, guys. Thank you guys for coming along. And that'll do it for us here tonight when the Racers Driving League for season 18, round 14. We're back with you next week on the 24th of March, for the Dutch Grand Prix at Zandvoort. Those of you who have seen that race before will know it would be an absolute classic of a race. So thank you all for watching. Have a fantastic rest of the evening, and we'll see you guys next time. Goodbye. Sweet. That works.
Nice.